So real quick, a few weeks back I got a review code for Gun Jam. I'm going to share that right now. The video. Gun Jam is it was announced over a year ago. I guess I don't even know anymore. But essentially, it is a first-person shooter that you shoot to the beat, right? And
Okay.
neat idea.
Bunch of rhythm shooters coming out the
Bunch of
last
rhythm shooters.
best
Uh,
year.
This is
especially.
man, just an idea. It's a great soundtrack. That's probably the great soundtrack, and I like the visuals, which have been kind of aped. I don't want to say aped since then, but we've seen similar kind of poppy, bright visual, brightly colored FPS games since this first was announced. But I have issues with this game. One, it's just not fun, man. It's just, and the reason I think it's just not fun is there are three things you have to do. One, you have to keep on to the beat, right? So you have to listen to the music and pay attention to that. Two, you have to tap the music. You kind of see it there to the little icons. So you have to hold or tap or whatever. And then three, you have to avoid and move around and try to beat these guys. Well, if I'm just playing this as an FPS game, I have a certain type of tactic that I use. I'll strafe, I'll move around, he jumped there, but I'll jump and I'll shoot and I'll play it very differently. Sometimes I want to just constantly shoot at someone to wear them down. Sometimes I will be very tactical. You can't do that with this game. You have to you don't even have to. It's difficult to do two things at once in this, like it is for me to try to talk and explain it at the moment. Trying to hit those little things, hit the tracks. I'm gonna stop right there. You go. Perfect. Yeah, cool. Half the time I was hitting those things and not aiming anywhere. Like there was no enemy in front of me. I'm just hitting this thing perfect, and then I'd make it through a third of the song and I would die because somebody was behind me. And that's not fun, man. That's not fun. It feels like here. Let me make this a little more full size because that looks better on the screen. There we go. It feels like it's still a concept, an idea, but it's not fully realized. The visuals, like I would have actually loved to see these little icons bigger and a different shape, and maybe make them look like the little, the scope or whatever. Give some variety to how we attack these enemies, because it feels like it's neither a great FPS and it's neither a great rhythm game.
It feels like we're still waiting for the perfect game of this to come up, because what was the one that came out? Was it Metal Hellsinger?
Yes,
Metal Hellsinger, which was very similar to this idea.
That got really good, like pretty good.
Yeah, it did pretty good. So it sounds like it did this a little bit better than. But this, I mean, they're also slightly different kind of targets, I think. But yeah, I don't. Even Metal Hellsinger didn't. I mean, it wasn't perfect in some regards. Yeah. So I don't know. It feels like there is definitely something to this genre of, or if we want to call it its own genre, of this kind of FPS rhythm game, and I don't know. I think something is going to hit it. At like
eventually,
not that either one of them are inherently bad, but it feels like a game is going to come along and like hit a home run, because they're repeatedly proving themselves to be worthwhile to do.
Yeah. So there are few levels in this. The content is very light. It's got a great soundtrack, and apparently, I didn't try it, but apparently you can put in your own music. Like they showed in that
interesting
kind of do I want to? It's a cool idea, but I don't know if I want to if I'm just playing the same couple levels, over and over again. And that's it. That's all the content. It's just like here's a song list, and there's no plot. There's no narrative. There's nothing. It's just
arena shooter.
It's just an arena shooter that you shoot to the beat. And the red, obviously on the outside. Yeah, I've been hit. Well. Dude, I got murdered every time. We had a conversation in Discord today of what was the worst boss during a review, and this is the boss. It's like it's the game mechanic sometimes is just
Yeah.
not fully realized, and that can be enough um uh to hold you back. Again, it's a cool idea. Um, it's just totally not real. It really does sort of feel like not even a beta. It feels almost like a tech demo in a way, and I think it needs to a lot of work done to it, and it's got to get content because I was bored. Like I played like every song, and I'm like, all right, that was like 18 minutes. What else is there to do? I guess I'll play these songs again and die again, and all right, there's another 18 minutes. So like an hour into playing this game, I'm during my review, I'm like, I don't want to play this anymore. I know I've got to squeak out some more things, but I just don't want to play anymore. We've talked in the past, about what a good review is. Like, or how do you approach a review? And you mentioned it before. One of the main questions is this game worth my time? And then is it worth your time? This game was not worth my time, and I put an hour into it, and I
Yeah.
felt bad because that hour was ultra repetitive, and it was again, it just felt like a really long tech demo. This feels like something you would find on a show floor and be like, oh, that's really cool, but that's it. That's all they released, and I feel like you're kind of cheating the end player if this is all you have. There's no multiplayer. There's no nothing that really can draw you in. And I think they really need to kind of circle back and figure out what they want this to be. So Gun Jam.